Okay, so good evening, everyone. So I'm both for one, but I actually can't wait for more, right? So we're going to start with today's classes, right? So this is the last class, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you, and this lesson is short, right? But I'm going to show you some slides, and at the end of the class, we're going to watch a video related to the lesson. Okay. So let's listen the audio, please.
Hi. Today we're going to look at superlative adjectives. It isn't the easiest grammar point, but it isn't the most difficult either. We use superlative adjectives a lot. So the best thing for us to do is to begin right now, okay?
Okay, so we have some examples about the adjectives. Okay, the first one is the easiest, the most difficult, and the best. As you know, we have comparatives and superlatives. We already learned how to use comparatives. So let's continue. Okay, so first of all, let's point number one.
We use superlative adjectives to compare 3 or more people or things. When we use superlative adjectives, we are saying that a person or thing has the most or the least of a certain quality compared to the other members of the group.
You're the strongest player on the team, Nick. You're also the most dependable of all the players. You really are the best.
All right, so okay, so first of all, let's talk about what is a superlative, right? A superlative is first of all, when are we gonna use it, right? We're gonna use superlatives in order to compare 3 or more. Do you remember that in the comparative adjectives, we used to compare only two objects, two people, two things, right? In the case of the superlatives adjectives, we can do it with more than 3 or more, okay? It could be people, could be things, situations, right? So it's part of the adjectives, okay? When we're going to use the superlative adjectives, we're saying that a person or thing has the most or the least, is the top, right? Of a certain quality compared to the other members of the group. For example, she's the best friend of the world, okay? So I'm saying that is the top of something, of a group of people, okay? So in the first example, we have you're the strongest player in the team. So what does it mean? In the team, we're gonna find a group of people, right? A group of players. There is one who is the most strongest than all of the group, okay? So to express that this someone is more than, we're gonna use the superlative. You are also the most dependable. Again, is the top, okay? It's a kind of comparison, but it's the most, okay? Of all the players, you're really the best, okay? So again, is to show the most or something. We're saying that a person or thing has the most or the least of a certain quality, okay? So let's continue with point number 2.
There are several ways to form the superlative. For short adjectives, we use the plus adjective plus est. Bright, the brightest.
Hard, the hardest.
Small, the smallest. Sometimes when we add est, there are spelling changes.
Nice. The nicest.
Big, the biggest.
Crazy. The craziest.
Okay, so let's continue. What is the structure of this lesson? Okay, so we have, do you remember that in the comparative, we used to, well, the structure is like ER, to add ER to the adjective, okay? Nicer, okay? Brighter, harder, smaller. In the superlative, the only thing that we're going to use is the article the, and at the end of our adjective, we're gonna add est, okay? The brightest, the hardest, and the smallest to show that something is the top, right? The most or the least. Okay, and sometimes we're going to add est when we're gonna add it. You're gonna notice that we're gonna change. Okay, the adjective is gonna suffer some spelling changes, right? Is a case of big. Okay, I have to add double G. Okay, and then I'm going to continue with the est. I'm gonna erase the last word, the last letter of crazy, letter Y, and then I'm gonna change it by I, and then I'm gonna continue writing est. Okay, so this is a rule, right? And the same happens with the comparatives. Sometimes the adjectives are gonna suffer some modifications, some spelling changes, right? So you have to take care in that part, please. Okay, so let's continue.
A few adjectives have irregular superlative forms. Good, the best,
Bad. The worst.
Okay, so one student sent me a message, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so we have the first, as you know, we have some irregular verbs, and the same happen with the adjectives. With the comparative, we have some irregular superlative forms, and it's perfect, right? I sent you a PDF, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm gonna look for where you're gonna find the rules of the superlative and adjectives. Sorry, superlative adjectives and the comparative adjectives. Okay, so first of all, let's start with good. This adjective is an irregular one. So to show the superlative or to change it into the superlative, I need to change the whole word, right? I'm going to say the best or better, right? In the case of the comparatives. How about the comparative? But so I'm going to use the as it is irregular, I have to change it by the words. Okay, don't forget the article, please. Okay, so let's continue with number 4.
For long adjectives, we usually form the superlative with the most.
You're the most popular player on the team.
We can also make a superlative with the least. the opposite of the most.
Carl is the least dependable player on the team.
Okay. As you know, in the comparative forms, we have a long adjectives. The same happen with the superlatives, right? It's the case of popular or dependable. Okay. For those adjectives that are long, we use the structure instead of more, we use the most. Okay. And we're gonna apply this rule for those adjectives that are long. Okay. The most popular, or how about the opposite? The opposite, to say that something is the least, I'm gonna use this structure. The least plus the article. I'm sorry, the adjective. Okay, you're the most popular player on the team. So what does it mean? Is the most. Okay, it's the top, right? Is the upper. How about the last one? Car is the least. Okay, so it goes down, right? So it could vary, right? But if you're gonna find an adjective that is longer, then you're gonna use the most. Okay, so that will be everything about the lesson. Now we're gonna watch a video. I really like this video because it explains us how to structure it, and we're gonna find some rules though. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Give me a second. Okay. So let's listen. Let's pay attention. Okay, very good. Okay, ESL library. I really love your candidate. All right, so let's pay attention.
What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe nouns. Adjectives can give us information such as the size or age of a noun. Adjectives can also tell us someone's opinion about a noun or describe how someone is feeling. We use superlative adjectives to compare 3 or more people, places, or things. Superlative adjectives tell us how one noun is different from the rest. For example, she is the tallest girl in the group. This painting is the most beautiful of all. He is the happiest student in my class. How are superlative adjectives formed in English? It depends on how many syllables the adjective has. For one-syllable adjectives, we add the and est to the adjective. For example, short becomes the shortest. If the adjective ends in a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, we double the final consonant before adding est. For example, big becomes the biggest. For 2-syllable adjectives that end in y, we change y to I and add est. For example, hungry becomes the hungriest, and noisy becomes the noisiest. For adjectives that are 2 syllables or more, we use the words the most before the adjective. For example, modern becomes the most modern, and expensive becomes the most expensive. Some superlative adjectives in English don't follow the usual rules. For example, the adjective good becomes the best in the superlative form. Bad becomes the worst, and far becomes the farthest or the furthest. The most common sentence pattern for superlative adjectives in English is subject plus verb plus the plus superlative adjective plus object. Let's look at some examples of superlative adjectives in a sentence. The blue house is the biggest house on the street. Rock music is the best kind of music. My dog is the laziest pet in my house. The singer is the most famous member of the band. These boots are the most expensive shoes in my closet. Look at the adjective. Say or write the superlative adjective. For example, tall. The tallest. Now you try. Thanks for watching.
Okay, that will be everything about the video. So, give me a second, please. All right. Okay, I'm trying to look for that video. Okay, so this is a conversation, guys. Oh, how about the volume? Okay, this is a conversation where you're going to find some situations, right? At the end of this video, I'm going to show another PDF. This is from one of my colleagues, right? Well, he was my classmate, right? One of my classmates. So let's continue.
The most important thing. You look amazing. Your dress is so beautiful. Not as beautiful as yours, Jenny. And you have a new hairstyle. Your hair is shorter than before, but it looks more stylish now. Thanks. Wow, look at your shoes. They are so fancy. They are very cool looking, but less comfortable than I thought. And they're the most expensive shoes I've ever bought. The worst choice ever.
Are you enjoying the party, girl?
Yeah, we are. Everything is so delicious. Have you tasted these snacks over here? But these ones are tastier because they are so spicy. Just try them.
They are tasty indeed, but not as delicious as this salad. And it's the healthiest choice, by the way.
Kristen is so happy. She's got so many wonderful presents. She's got a new smartphone. I wish I were as lucky as her. Her smartphone is the slimmest phone on the market. It is much slimmer than mine.
My phone is older than all the other phones I see. I wish I had a more modern phone with a larger screen. That's the least important thing in life to make you happy. A more modern phone won't make you happier. My phone is as old as yours, and I don't need another one. Kristen is so happy because she has many friends. I think she is the friendliest person I know. Yes, she is considered to be the most popular girl in school and the most loved one. Who is the boy next to her?
That's her brother, Paul. I met him at the chess club. He's the most talented chess player in the club. And I think he is the most intelligent student in our school.
Is he older than Kristen?
Yes, he is 2 years older than her,
He is as handsome as Kristen.
but he is not as sociable as her. He doesn't have too many friends. He is quieter and more sensitive than his sister. He studies harder than her. His marks are better than Christian's. But she is funnier and nicer. I get along better with her than Paul. Of all my friends, she is the easiest person to talk to.
Who is the woman talking to Kristen right now?
Oh, that's her mum. She is the kindest and most generous person I know. She loves helping everyone. She has a very good heart. Look, the girl coming towards them is Christian's and Paul's sister, Vivi.
Really? But she looks very different from them. She is taller, has darker hair, and looks much older. I think she is the least attractive of them. Her clothes aren't so fashionable as her siblings.
Well, I think she considers character more important than appearance. She may be less attractive than her siblings, but she has a nice personality. Everyone likes her. She is indeed the oldest of them and the tallest member of the family. She is a basketball player. They may be very different, but they love and support one another. That's the most important thing.
How's it going, guys? Are you having fun? Yeah, we're having a great time. The party is awesome. I absolutely love all the treats, and there were so many beautiful surprises. The best part is yet to come. Just wait and see. The cake tastes just as good as it looks.
It has the most wonderful flavor I've ever tasted.
This is a great party. I'm having so much fun. Pam, you are the best dancer in our class. Why won't you join us? I would be the worst dancer in these shoes. They're so uncomfortable. So anyone is a better dancer than I am right now. Oh, you poor thing. Next time I buy shoes, I'll take care to choose the most comfortable ones and not the best looking ones.
Comparatives. We use the comparative form to compare two people, animals, places, or things. That smartphone is slimmer than mine.
Paul is older than Kristen.
This salad is tastier than that snack.
She is nicer than him.
Her phone is more modern than mine.
Paul is more sensitive than his sister.
Vivian is less attractive than Kristen. You are a better dancer than me.
Comparisons with as are used to say that two things, animals or people, have the same attribute. I wish I were as lucky as her. Paul is as handsome as Kristen. Not as is used to say that two things, animals or people, do not have the same attribute. Not as and less have the same meaning.
He is not as sociable as her, or he is less sociable than her.
Vivian is less attractive than her siblings, or Vivian is not as attractive as her siblings.
Superlatives. The superlative form is used to describe the extreme quality of one thing in a group.
Her smartphone is the slimmest phone on the market. She is the friendliest person I know.
Your mom is the kindest person I've met.
That phone has got the largest screen I've ever seen. She is the most popular girl in school.
That's the most important thing.
She is the least attractive of them. You are the best dancer in our class. That was the worst choice ever. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, so that will be everything. Now, okay, let's continue with okay, with the PDF I have. So okay, I'm going to share my screen here, and there you have it, right? Okay, so we have superlative in English. Superlative adjectives are used to describe an object, right? Which is at the upper or lower limit of a quality. The tallest, the smallest, the fastest, the highest, okay? And they're used in sentences where a subject is compared to a group of objects, right? For example, summer is the hottest season of the year. So I'm comparing the summer with the group of the seasons of the year, right? To form the superlative, we use est suffix with adjectives of one syllable. Okay, for example, tall, tallest, short, shortest, long, longest, hot. In this case, we're gonna write double T, sorry, right? We have a vowel. Okay, we have the syllable, the letter, and we have to reply the coldest, the biggest, the same in this part. Okay, the smallest, the cheapest, largest. Okay, now it goes the rule number one. Those adjectives with one vowel and one consonant, for example, big, thin, hot, sad. We have the vowel I-O-A, and the consonant, the letter G-N-T-B. We're gonna we add double consonant, right? So it is like G, the consonant is G, so I'm gonna double it. Then I'm going to double it. Hot, I'm going to double it, and sad, I'm going to double it. So then I'm going to continue with the writing, right? Biggest, thinnest, hottest, saddest, okay? So, okay, let's continue. Okay, the lion is the biggest of the three animals, or the cat is the smallest of these animals. As you can see, I'm saying that something is the biggest or is the least, okay? The smallest. So we have two pictures, right? Baby John is the youngest in my family, or my father Jack is the oldest in my family. So I'm trying to describe the extreme of one group, right? It could be the most or the least, but it's extreme, right? And okay, we have the other rule, and it is about we have some adjectives that are long, right? Okay, for those adjectives that contains three or more syllables, we're going to use most. Okay, let's continue. We have important and it contains more than three or more syllables, right? Most important, expensive, beautiful. I'm not going to add est, right? Take care in this part, because it's already one adjective there. It's long, right? So the point of this is not to do it more longer as it is than it is. Okay. Important, most important, expensive, most expensive, beautiful, most beautiful, difficult, most difficult, intelligent, most intelligent, interesting, most interesting, famous, most famous, dangerous, most dangerous, and comfortable, most comfortable. Okay. So let's see. Physics is the most difficult subject in high school, right? Is the most difficult subject in high school. English class is the easiest. So this is a short one, right? This is a short adjective. So I have to add est. I'm going to erase the letter Y. I'm gonna write a letter I. And I'm going to continue with the normal structure, est. As this is a long adjective, I don't have to add anything else, only the most. Okay. And don't forget the article quiz, right? We use articles with all of them, with all the adjectives. When we're talking about the superlatives. Jupiter is the largest, right? The largest planet in our solar system. And okay, this is the point that we saw in person. In this case, there are some irregular English adjectives like good. For good is the best, right? For bad, worst. And the comparatives, we have better, worse, right? I don't know if you remember, to show the little, right? Little, it is the least, much, and it is the most. Okay, so these are some regular adjectives. And okay, this is the worst day. So it's the worst day I've ever had. My car key is broken. I think that the best sport I have practiced is basketball, and I like it. So conclusion, in today's lesson, you have learned how to use adjectives to make comparisons of three or more objects using the adjectives in the superlative way. Okay, so, okay, then have the other. And if you have any question, please let me know to my Zoom, right? Okay, now we're gonna do, okay, give me a second. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen. And this is a book, right? This is a story, right? It's actually a story. And okay, let's see. We have all for Julie, the prettiest girl. Again, look at this part. We have a vowel and consonant, so we're doubling the consonant, prettiest. Okay, let's see. In a town called Morriton lived three friends called John, Harry, and Graham. One winter, a girl called Julie moved into the little, there you have the little, right? The little cottage at the end of their street. They thought she was the prettiest again during the whole world. From that day, everything they did was just to impress Julie. First, they tried to impress her with poems. John wrote a long poem, Harry wrote a longer poem, and Graham wrote the longest poem in the whole world. Let's take a few. We have the adjective. We have the adjective, the comparative adjective, and then we have the longest, sorry, the superlative. I mean, it's the top, it's the upper. Then they tried music. John played a loud guitar, Harry played a louder trumpet, and Graham played the loudest. Again, you have the adjective, the superlative adjective, drum in the whole world. Then they decided to show off their engineering skills. John made a fast go-kart. Again, Harry made a faster, the comparative. And Graham made the fastest. I don't know why I have the necessity to say fast. I don't know why. The fastest. And we have the superlative, fastest go-kart in the whole world. Finally, they thought she's definitely be impressed by Circle's skills. John juggled something dangerous. Harry juggled something more dangerous. Again, this is a long adjective for the comparative, more, and for the superlative, the most. And Ryan invented the most dangerous juggling trick ever. The next day was Julie's birthday. Harry. So John bought a big present. Harry bought a bigger present, and Graham bought the biggest. Again, this is an irregular adjective. The present in the whole world, and they all arrived nice and early and ready to impress. But Julie's garden was small. Her cottage was smaller, and her door was the smallest on the street. So there was no space for huge presents, for juggling, for go-karts, or for guitars, trumpets, and drums. There was room for poems, but not for poems as long as John's, Harry's, and Graham's. So they took everything back home, went into Julie's house with nothing, and had to have a tea party with Julie's little tea set. Tea set. Eat Julie's little cakes, play music on a little piano, and make new, smaller presents with origami. But they had the most fun all year, and when they left, they were the happiest ever. And John, Harry, and Graham were the best of friends. Okay, so we have another one, and it is about the sharpest, between the sharpest chin in the world. Okay, this is a poem, right? His eyebrows are long, his nose hair is longer, and his nose is the longest in the world. His armpits are smelly, and his parts are smellier, and his breath is the smelliest in the world. His cheeks are fat, his legs are fatter, and his tummy is the fastest in the world. His elbows are sharp, his nails are sharper, and his chin is the sharpest in the whole world. But his silly face are funny, his silly noses are funnier, and his jokes are the funniest in the whole world. So I'm still glad that he's my dad. Okay, it was cute, right? It was kind of cute. because this point was about that, right? Okay. So, okay, please give me a second. I'm going to try to do this one. Okay, I have some problems with it. Oh my goodness, what day is today? Friday. Today's Friday. Okay. So, what is that now with this page? Oh, it was with so. Okay. Oh, I was talking and then I noticed that I was not. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you again. And there you have, this is a book, right? About safari. So let's see. This is a savannah. It is full of many animals, all of them different. Anna is going on a safari sitting. Look at the monkeys, they're very strong. They are the strongest animal that I know. Those giraffes are very tall. They are the tallest animals I know. The mom is taller than the little giraffe. Oh no, I need to go to the car. The giraffe is one of the fastest animals in the jungle. Well, look how many zebras. I think they are the most beautiful animals in the jungle. I wonder, where are they going? They all share this space because they all need to drink water. This is the most interesting safari. Thank you for coming. I hope you had fun. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, it was a short one, right? But it was interesting. So now we're going to see this one. This is with an audio, I'm not sure. So let's listen this, please.
In Miss Rivard's classroom, there are no two students alike. Even though Timmy and Tommy are twins, they are different within. Some students are tall, some are short. Some are loud, some are proud. Some get mad. Some get sad. Some
Okay, I really like this one. I was looking out my window, enjoying the autumn season, when a young gust of wine took my pumpkin for no reason. I yelled, someone stopped that pumpkin. It took a roll and then a bounce. It was headed on my journey, which I call the pumpkin bounce. It was gaining a speed and traction. This pumpkin was in action. Bounce. It was caught and had become the pumpkin made attraction, but pulling off was what it needed. The splash was loud and swift. Pounds draft. I thought he had it. Now something is going to trip. But it is not linked to the lesson, right? So as we finish the lesson, we're going to start with thoughtful reading, right? Okay, so I guess it's this one. Okay, first of all, it's important before to continue, it's important to see this video, right? In order to improve our skills, right? So let's pay attention to this. Okay.
Hi, I'm Michael from ETS. Today on Inside the TOEFL Test, we're going inside the TOEFL IBT reading section, specifically the vocabulary questions. Vocabulary questions ask you to identify the meanings of words and phrases as they are used in the reading passage. It's easy to identify vocabulary questions because there will be a word or phrase highlighted in the reading passage, and you will see questions like these with phrases like closest in meaning or the author means. Now let's look at a sample vocabulary question. This one is from a reading passage about meteorite impacts. Here's an excerpt from the passage with the vocabulary word highlighted. Here's the sample question, which asks the meaning of the word pose. Now, there's really not much strategy in answering these vocabulary questions. The words that are tested are academic vocabulary that you should know if your English is at the level of a university student. They are not usually words that you can guess from context. So the best general strategy to be ready for this type of question is to build your vocabulary. Keep in mind that there's a difference between academic vocabulary and specialized vocabulary. Academic vocabulary words can be used across many fields of study. These are the kinds of words you'll be tested on. Specialized vocabulary words are specific to one field. If words like this are in a TOEFL reading passage, they will be defined for you. Here's a tip for increasing your vocabulary. Many English words come from Latin or Greek.
Oh my goodness, yeah, but this is true, right? So we have some words that come from not Latin words, right? For example, bio is like from the origin is Greek, and the meaning is life. So examples could be a biology, science of life. Cardi is from Greek though. It is like cardiac, right? Related to the earth. Retro is like back, right? It's like retrospect, review, past events, right? Back is like empty, like I can't or not a.
So if you study Latin and Greek roots, that will help you remember the meanings of words. And it can also help you figure out the meanings of words you may not know. For example, if you know that the Latin root terra means earth, then when you see this sentence from the passage that talks about the terrestrial material found at the impact site, you'll know that it's referring to the material from the earth, not from the meteorite. There are lots of ways to improve your English skills. Whatever you do, keep practicing. And good luck on your TOEFL test.
Okay, so it was great. It was great. Now we're going to watch the other video that I really like it. And we receive really factual information. This is gonna help you a lot, right? And at the end of this, we're gonna read. Okay? So let's pay attention to it.
Hi, I'm Michael from ETS. Today on Inside the TOEFL Test, we're going inside the TOEFL IBT reading section, specifically the factual information and negative factual information questions. Factual information questions ask you to recognize information that is explicitly stated in the text. These may include facts such as major ideas, supporting details, or definitions. Negative factual information questions are similar, except that instead of only one answer being true, 3 of the 4 answers are true, and you have to determine which one is false. Factual information questions will have phrases like according to the paragraph, or paragraph X answers which of the following in the question. For negative factual information questions, look for the words not or except in capital letters. Here are some tips for answering factual and negative factual information questions. Number 1, don't automatically select an answer just because it contains words or phrases from the paragraph. Make sure you carefully evaluate each option to determine if it's correct. 2, for the negative factual information questions, remember that you're looking for an answer that either isn't in the paragraph or directly contradicts information in the paragraph. Let's look at a sample factual information question. First, here's an excerpt from a reading passage about meteorite impacts. And here's the question. Be careful when selecting your answer, because 3 of the 4 answer choices misstate information from the passage or contradict information from the passage. One answer we can definitely eliminate is C, because there is no mention in this paragraph of archaeologists working in the Yucatan region. Choice A looks like what is said here in the last 2 sentences, where it does say they found the crater in 1990, but they determined in 1980 that there was a meteorite impact, so it's not choice A. Choice D is incorrect because it says that they located a meteorite, which is not true, because what they found was the crater and other evidence of the meteorite impact, not the meteorite itself. That leaves choice B, which is supported by the second and third sentences. The second sentence mentions the worldwide layer of sediment, and the third sentence explains how it is unique. Therefore, B is the correct answer. Now let's look at a negative factual information question. Here is another paragraph about meteorite impacts from the same reading passage. And here's the question. You know it's a negative factual information question because of the word except in capital letters. So 3 of the choices are going to match information in the paragraph, and only 1 will. Let's see how many correct choices we can find by scanning for keywords that appear in the answers like dust, sunlight, cold, dark, elements, rust, and nitric acid. We may also need to look for synonyms of these words. So if we scan the paragraph for some text about dust and blocked sunlight that corresponds to choice A, we find this, and it's a match. Choice B is here, where it talks about the cold and darkness. There's nothing in the paragraph that talks about new elements or the Earth's crust, so choice C looks like it might be the answer. For choice D, we found that information here, where it talks about nitric acid. So choice C is our answer.
Okay. So let's see.
Here's a tip to help you improve your reading skills. Read news and magazine articles about various subjects as often as you can, and practice taking notes. When deciding what to write down, ask yourself, what pieces of information are important or relevant or credible? Then write those down, but keep the notes short. That will help you remember important information in what you read. There are lots of ways to improve your English skills. Whatever you do, keep practicing, and good luck on your TOEFL test.
Okay, so in this part, it's factual information that we could find in our TOEFL test, right? I'll give a second. Oh my goodness, I felt like if I was not true. Just not. Oh. Okay. So I have allergia, right? To the dust, I guess, right? So I'm so sorry. Okay. We're gonna find a test, right? We have factual information questions, and it's gonna ask you to recognize information that you explicitly state in the text, right? So this may include facts such as major ideas, important details, or even definitions. So negative factual information questions are similar, except that instead of only one answer being true, three of four answers are true, and you have to determine which one is false. Um, in factual information could be explicitly state, right? For example, major ideas, important details, definitions, right? And we're going to have negative factual information, right? Our 3 out of 4 answers are true, and could be which one is false. So factual information questions will have phrases like according to the paragraph, or paragraph 4, paragraph X answers which of the following, right? In the question for negative factual information questions, you have to look for the words not or except in capital letters, right? So it's very important to know the question, to understand the question, I mean, right? So let's take a view. Okay, I'm going to open one book. Let's see it. Okay, let's see it. All right. I got it. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, as you can see in this first part. Okay, give me a second. Please, I'm trying to check. Where is it? Oh no, I don't know how to do it. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Okay, so I was trying to share my screen that well. So okay, I'm going to share my screen. These are some questions where you're gonna find in the TOEFL test, right? On the screen, right? You're going to have the question structure, right? As I told you, we have some factual information, right? And like major ideas and supporting details, and of course, definitions, right? We have the negative factual information. Yeah, there are those questions, 3 out of 4 answers are true, which one is false, right? For example, according to the paragraph, right, the paragraph 1, no, this is not. Okay, number 6, for example, according to paragraph 4, what has recent research and exponential funding of omega size shown? So what for those for that question, we have a negative factual information, right? So you have to factual information is like a paragraph, right? And we have some other questions and are called negative factual information, right? So according to paragraph, which of the following is not true, right? I guess we okay, number 3, for example, right? Okay, we can also find the upper mentions all of the following except, right? Here are some tips for answering factual and negative factual information questions, right? So the first one is like, don't automatically select an answer just because it contains word phrases from the paragraph, right? So you have to make sure carefully evaluate and each each option to determine if it is correct. And for the negative factual information questions, right, you have to remember that you're looking for an answer that either isn't in the paragraph or directly contains information in the paragraph, right? So for factual information, you don't have to select an answer just because it contains word phrases from the paragraph. And the second one is evaluate each option to determine if it is correct. For negative factual information questions, you have to answer the answer is either not in the paragraph or it contradicts information in the paragraph, right? So if we're gonna see an example, okay, in this part, for example, we can find in whatever paragraph, right? So you're going to, for example, according to paragraph 3, right? How the scientists determined that a large meteorite had impacted on Earth, right? So you're going to select the option, but you have to take care, right? You have to be careful when selecting your answer, right? Because maybe, I don't know, because of 3 of the 4 answers choices mistake information from the passage, right? Or contradict information from the passage, right? So one answer we can definitely, you have to see maybe to start from the select, right? For example, I don't think that could be letter C because of this reason, right? So then you're going to choose the best answer, right? Okay, so what else can I say about the reading form? Okay, now we're going to continue with, okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, now let's watch this video. And this is from the reading part again, right? So let's pay attention.
Hi, I'm Michael from ETS. Today on Inside the TOEFL Test, we're going inside the TOEFL IBT reading section, specifically the insert text question. The insert text questions are designed to show that you understand the logical order of ideas in a reading passage. In the reading section, every reading passage has one insert text question. But instead of choosing from a list of 4 choices, like with most reading questions, you will click on one of the 4 black squares to insert the text into the paragraph. During the real test, you can change the location of the sentence as many times as you need to, so you can see how it works in each of the 4 places. Here's a sample insert text question and the corresponding paragraph. Note that the sentence says, "This is the criterion," and it's important to look for pronouns. The pronoun here is this, so there's probably something about a criterion in the previous sentence. If we insert the sentence at square number 4, the previous sentence talks about the standard criterion, and the following sentence says, "Yet an equally important criterion." So that's a likely choice. And when you read those sentences together, the sentences do flow logically. So this is the correct answer. One tip for improving your reading is to really know your pronouns and to practice matching them to the words they refer to in a text. Here are a few of the most common pronouns that you will see.
Oh my God, this is very, very important, right? You have to know the pronouns, right? This, that, those, they, them, him, her, he, she, it, which.
See
Okay.
when you read. There are lots of ways to improve.
Okay, so what else? Okay, so okay, so because it's the last day of classes and we finished with the whole lesson, we're going to stop until this part, right? I already assigned the two quizzes. Please don't forget to do it. I'm going to, the grades are going to be ready for tomorrow. Okay, the grades are going to be ready for tomorrow, I guess, right? And this is going to be the last class from the group, right? Since Monday, you're going to have another teacher, right? So what else? Okay, I guess that's everything, right? If you need any help, any question about the lesson, everything related to English, don't forget that I'm here to help you, right? But please keep practicing, especially those verbs, all the sentences and the form in them, right? And please try to complete the homework, right? So this month was crazy because we still like we're gonna reschedule the class and reschedule again. Okay? So I guess we're not gonna have more than that. Okay. So as I told you, this is going to be the last day of classes. There is I am gonna give if I'm going to wait until tomorrow, right? For you in order to give me the grades. I'm sorry, to complete the homework and the quiz. All right, and please don't forget to keep practicing as I told you, right? As I show you, I gave you some tips, right? I gave you some tips in order to improve your reading part. And then you have to prepare for the test if you're gonna take it in the future, right? There are some pages though, right? You are able to there is a page right in TOEFL test, right, where you can download, right, the free practices test. It provides free unlimited access to those activities, right? So you have the speaking practice sets, the listening practice sets, writing though, right? And something that yes, it's I don't like it is that the audio is not included for listening, right? It's speaking and writing questions. So, however, you have to transcript of the audio, the transcripts of the audio are provided where applicable. Okay. So, what else? Yes, I guess that will be everything, right? It was a pleasure to have these two months together, right? We learned many things, right? That we have to know how to use it, and we don't have to forget the practicing. Okay. So as we finished, that will be everything for today's classes. Thank you for your attention to these 2 months. Thank you for being comprehensible. Some days we couldn't have classes or we had to reschedule. So thank you for everything, and I hope everything goes well for you all. And I'm going